Good afternoon, descendants of Airdrick. Our marathon vodcast of Winter League Week 5 races continues with Group 3 race featuring Just Chris, Angel FM, Ryguy, and EMP. All four of these races right on the cusp of playoff possibilities. 14 possible tiebreaker opportunity, but not good shape. 14.5 to 15, feeling much better. Over 15 points after week 5. Pretty solid on playoff opportunities from the way that it looks up to this point. So the first, second, third, and fourth place finishes going to have some pretty important stakes here. I'm Destiny of a Dragon Warrior and joined by Chris. The same Chris who is on your racing screen being a vodcast, coming in and sharing a little bit of insight on the race. Good afternoon, Chris. How are you?
Aloha. I'm not doing too bad. I got to say, I'm disappointed in my competitors having abandoned the snow theme.
That is true. You were the one of the four who kept the winter theme. We'll see how that works. Maybe that's the good luck charm that you need for this Group 3 race. Flags are still the easy-ish stair shuffle, same as we saw in the previous race, and we'll see through the rest of the races this week. So with the combination of flags, should be some early easy zone enemies to grind up to some survivability, look to defeat down some treasure guards, get the key items, and then navigate some cave complexes. As we start in the throne room, we get gold and fairy water. Fairy water could be helpful if we have a low strength start. I didn't quite catch the stats. 9 and 23 we saw flash up on the screen, so 9 strength certainly something to work with.
And just the standard 2 starting spells.
Yep, this flag's guaranteed to start with Radiant and Repel. Ryguy going back into the throne room and saving with the king while the other 3 players go out and start to explore the zones. Big Swamp is on, mostly covers the area around Tantasia, but there is some desert to the southeast. Couple of enemies getting taken down by all 3 players, getting a slew of levels and stats. Angel hit level 5. I didn't see quite where EMP and Chris ended up. Ryguy's about to take down a ghost, perhaps? Okay, EMP and Chris both at level 4. The levels are going to come very quickly here in the early going. Angel hits level 6. There's a cave nearby. It is Tablet Cave. At least the first floor is Tablet Cave. Ryguy did not take down the ghost, gets sent back home, so a little bit behind on the starting experience.
Yeah, I had no interest in going spelunking this early in the seed.
Yeah, that's definitely a decision to be made, and Angel gets sent back home from the cave structure. EMP still fighting along, takes down a slime on the second level of that cave for 146. That's some great experience from just the regular old blue slime. It's not full chaos enemies, they still have their standard stats. It's the XP and gold that's randomized.
And then big old red slime at 351.
Wow, valuable slimes in this one. EMP continuing to walk through the caves, found a Sharlock floor going through the U floor, and ends up in the start of Deep Grave, the Grave 2, with lots of stairs to choose from. EMP is just continuing to work through the cave structure while the rest of our runners are continuing to grind. Ryguy does get out of level 1 jail. Chris and Angel at level 7, and Ryguy jumped straight from level 1 to level 7. Must have been a red slime there. Everyone up to level 8, which earned the spell of sleep. That'll help with the enemies that have some susceptibility to that spell. Oh, and a crit dodge!
Every spell except the Moors.
That's pretty incredible. All the spells except Heal More and Hurt More. Spells are guaranteed to come by level 16, and all but the big 2 came by level 8. Heal More from Chris at level 9. Wow. Yeah, we'll see how this plays out with EMP exploring the caves here. If EMP stumbles upon a treasure card deep in this maze. We're down to the grave chest 4. If EMP finds a critical item like Erdrick's sword or armor, that could be an advantage. But on the other hand, if there's no dice, this could be a significant time loss, even though he's taken some enemies down here, but not keeping pace with Chris, Angel, and Ryguy, all of whom are at level 9.
Yeah, I think he'd have to hope to get hurt more at a level soon before taking on any of the treasure guards. And we sadly know that's not going to happen.
Yeah, it'd be a bit of a Hail Mary play with 62 hit points and heal more and 64 strength. It'd be possible to chop down some of the lower end treasure guards, but heal more or hurt more is definitely what opens up the window for most of the treasure guards, which range from Wyvern to about Wizard, Star Wyvern, the top enemies that can be treasure guards. Angel decides at level 10 to take a peek into the tablet cave structure. We'll see how far Angel goes once he finds out that this is quite the mega dungeon. Meanwhile, Chris and Ryguy continuing to grind up. If those ghosts could stop running away, please, but that's what happens as strength increases. The volatility of catching these lower enemies with high experience, not only do you have the encounter luck, but you have the runaway luck, where the weaker enemies are more prone to run away on you. That can be frustrating.
I think ghosts aren't worth enough to go after at this point. We're just looking for the red and blue slimes.
Yeah, definitely. Like 350 a pop on the red slimes. That's, even at this point, level 10, level 11, that's almost half a level right there from one enemy.
Yep, or the 202 rolls. I think I was torn between which of the two zones to look in.
And it appears Hertmore came at level 11, which we see on Chris's screen. Ryguy should hit there, yep, with this red slime. So Hertmore opens up treasure guards, possibly some more exploration. Chris continuing to hang on here and do some grinding.
Yep, we could also Hertmore some doors down, see what's in the treasury at home, as well as in the basement there.
That's a good thought. I wonder if anyone's going to do that before exploring too far from home. Ryguy chooses not to, exploring to the south here. EMP finally takes a death out of that big cave structure. We don't see the red flashing on the screen from EMP. However, he is taking damage from those swamp tiles, as he would without Erdrick's armor. Exploring to the east, we see a town cave on Ryguy's screen. Oh, and it appears to be Swamp Cave. Swamp North. Angel spending some time in the mega dungeon, going through the grave 2 floors that we saw EMP explore. EMP does find our first town, Cantlin.
Sadly, no Hertmore and no keys means you can only check a few things.
Yeah, and unfortunately for EMP, because EMP's behind on the grind by spending time in that cave complex, EMP doesn't have Hertmore yet, only at level 7, while Chris and Ryguy here, you guys could come in with Hertmore and take down the doors, get coordinates, check the locked shop.
Ryguy doing an early princess rescue.
Preemptive princess rescue, definitely something to consider with small map on. Sometimes that can be difficult if you want to, if you're a reverse counter, if you have small map on, you can't rely on a possible reverse count. And it looks like with some of the narrow areas that we're seeing walking around, this could be a bit annoying to count depending on how the coordinates shake up, if there are coordinates. EMP found the Rainbow Drop Cave. Chris earns level 13. Action fast and furious here in week 5.
Yeah, I think my strategy is going to be counter to what Beta recommended in chat.
Continuing to stay close to home, were you considering grinding up to gold level, or was there a certain point that you were going to commit to exploring out, or is it just by feel?
I don't want to give anything away, so we'll see what happens.
Good answer. I like it. Let's see what happens. EMP takes a trip home. Ryguy, with Hurtmore now, is checking the chest back at home after turning in Gwalen for the GPS. Angel is somewhere deep, deep in the caves. Hasn't seen the light of day for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, but at least he has Hurtmore, so he can take out potentially any guards, as well as having heal more, but running low on resources.
Yeah, and using a Hurtmore to go backwards up through the Grave 1 door. That's funny to see. Ryguy does find a chest on the other side of the barrier tiles at home, and it is the Death Necklace.
Doing these stair shuffle, I had sorry about that. Had a website up with all the maps out and all the random chest locations, because I'm definitely not used to going backwards.
I've played a ton of seeds of non-standard and stair shuffle and random chest locations, and I do the same thing. I have a map up on hand just because some of those Sharlock floors are... You hardly ever see them and have to deal with them.
Angel getting the armor.
Oh, so there is the reward for exploring the cave system. EMP has found Hawksness, meanwhile.
I'm just laughing at the item page and mine being blank.
Dedicated to that grind. This is interesting how all four players have taken different paths. EMP explored the cave early, took a death before finding armor in it. Angel explored a little bit later, did find armor, found a loose key as well. Ryguy checked back at home at the treasury there, and meanwhile Chris is just dedicated to this grind, about halfway between levels 14 and 15 already.
It's a massacre of red slimes, regular slimes, and warlocks.
Now, Ryguy is in Grave 1. Was this behind... I think this was behind Tantagel. Ryguy came into Grave 1 the quick way, it seems. And picks up Erdrick's armor, so that may benefit Chris and EMP without finding that armor early. Angel seemed to have gotten to it from exploring the cave system the long way. Ryguy stumbled into it from underneath Tantagel, and I imagine Chris and EMP should do the same, or at least have the opportunity to, with it being relatively accessible. That's a benefit to the two of them. Not having armor just yet, should be able to pick it up at a reasonable point in the race here. As Angel figures it out and pops out underneath home base. Chris, one enemy away from level 15, gonna get it here on the Warlock. EMP making up some of the experience gap, grinding here in the Hawksness zone. Chris gets 4, 1, 7, 7 at that level. So over 100 hit points. You see full restoration of HP and MP with level up refill flag being on this week.
Old grind available in Tantangel's treasury.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to stumble into a gold grind. You go explore a cave, it has a multitude of levels and chests, then you pop out in Tantagel and, oh, there's a gold chest, and I've already opened up enough chests for a gold grind. Cool, okay. Don't think EMP has checked the spike and hasn't checked the treasure chest here at Hawksness. Sticking to the grind, trying to catch up on experience. Again, EMP doesn't necessarily know how far he is behind on experience, but might have a sense of exploring that cave system early and coming out empty-handed might be a bit behind. Ryguy comes across Cantlin.
Can't check that treasure chest. He's one level away from Hurtmore.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Angel, however, is not, and we should get that check here momentarily. as Ryguy checks the in chest in Cantlin. Fairy Flute in Cantlin, Torch in Hawksness. The Hawksness Spike is an Axe Knight for 121, almost the same as standard. And it's the Silver Harp underneath. There we go. EMP gets to level 11, gets hurt more. It's going to check the chest and presumably the Spike enemy, the Axe Knight, as well. Meanwhile, Ryguy picking up coordinates. Took the words out of my mouth, Chris. Yeah. Oh, those are countable. $14 north, 23 east.
I think there was a body of water north of home, so I don't remember if I was able to had to get the princess or not.
Oh, interesting. We'll have to check that out. See if there's a way around it or how we're gonna handle that. Maybe have to cross swamp if it's a second continent.
And at level 16, I finally checked my first cave town.
And it's the Tablet Cave megastructure. See how long you spend in here. EMP abandons the grind after picking up the Silver Harp and Hawksness, as does Angel. Angel at level 13, EMP level 11, Ryguy 12, Chris 16. So everyone at a different level at this point, but pretty quick to make up levels, all else being equal with this flag set as EMP continues to do grinding and Hawksness. Angel finds Mountain Cave. Couple of stairs, couple of potential chests to check there. Ryguy finds the Town of Cold, baby! And I saw Sharlock peeked on the corner of the screen.
And we have a treasure guard. Covering the big stick. So we know nothing important, maybe the fighter's ring or fairy flute, but otherwise nothing important inside of Sharlock.
Wow, okay, so Ryguy has Erdrick's sword and armor right there. It's just a matter of finding the rest of the items and grind and go. Chris, you're continuing to explore the cave system. EMP makes his way back home and checking the Chantagel chests.
And Sharlock was just northwest of home. And so Ryguy set a spot, a warp point is at the end there.
That's a good strategy with Return to Town set up. If you're going to do all the checks and then you can do Return and get right close to where you want to be. Look at all those bridges and connections there. It's hard to see where you can travel and where's cut off. Okay, it's just dead end up there. Chris somehow ended up in Mountain Cave through this cave complex. All of the caves must be connecting to each other. Tablet, Grave, and Mountain, it seems, right?
I remember thinking I was going to keep track of what was connected to what, but at some point I just gave up and was like, well, we'll go this way and see what happens.
Yeah, this is quite a continuation. There's so many different rooms that have been seen, finally catching a dead end. Let's see, Angel's at level 13, Ryguy, I think was at level 13. Nope, still at level 12, about halfway there. EMP's caught up on experience here. It's almost even with Ryguy at level 12. EMP has found the top floor of Grave, so should be picking up Erdrick's armor in just a moment. Chris is still going back and forth. The Grave floors just connect with Sharlock floors. Wow, that's just massive. You go from one room with 3 stairs to a room with 5 stairs and back again.
It looks like I'm going to be last to the armor.
Indeed, EMP picks up Erdrick's armor. It'll be a question of how long it takes for Chris to find Grave 1 and get to the armor. Fortunately, there's at least 2, if not 3 different ways to get there. I think you can get there through every cave, and Grave 1 is underneath home. Ryguy finds Garanham here, so there's going to be some potential checks. Breezes right past the weapon and item shop since he has sword and armor.
Yeah, I think Ry's definitely found the most towns and finds another treasure guard.
Oh, wow. So Ryguy just needs to find Hawksness for the harp. And then aside from trade-ins, Ryguy's done as far as exploration. And... oh, misstep getting out of the back of Garanham there, it looked like. Whoops. You have to go back in. At least he didn't burn a key. He just burned a Hurtmore. Gonna go back in and check what's underneath Garanham. Chris still checking chests without valuable items there in Deep Grave. Hoping to find Grave 1. Spiral Room of Sharlock. Angel, meanwhile, is in the cave complex, finds the double chest dead end in Sharlock. EMP is back in the cave complex as well, appears to be in Sharlock 1.
Back of Ham was just an empty stones cave.
Well, that was totally not worth the trouble of Ryguy stepping out and having to step all the way back in. So keep that 30 seconds in mind. We don't know if that's going to play a factor, but a little bit of a missed menu there cost Ryguy, what, give or take 30 seconds there?
At this point, I've done practically no searching of the overworld.
That's right, because you started coming into Tablet. Finally did find Grave 1, so fortunate for you, Chris. Going to pick up Erdrick's armor in just a moment as well. Ryguy exploring a dead end of swamp here. Angel finds a location. Oh, it's Swamp South. Okay. EMP also exploring some more cave structure. Heavy spelunking not required in this seed indeed. Just Erdrick's armor from Grave 1, which turns out to be easily accessible from home, and then I think just about everything else has been out in overworld or town locations or under search spots. Chris makes his way back to Tantagel. Angel finds Garanham and the Goldman treasure guard. So it's going to pick up Erdrick's token. Ryguy finds a location all the way out in the middle of nowhere, it seems, and it's Romualdar. So a couple of checks in here. We know that there's not going to be anything of tremendous value. Maybe it's Fighter's Ring. We haven't seen Fighter's Ring yet, but we know what Ryguy needs to find is Hawksness to get the harp. EMP needs to get out of the caves, and Chris needs to get out somewhere.
I like my small little world. It's easier to keep track of.
Good answer, good answer.
No, I think it did actually help me to keep track of the map, just doing it all at once, as opposed to putting it away for 20 minutes and then coming back to it and saying, where was that again?
You know, that's a good thought. That's a good point, especially if you end up having to dive a massive cave structure in the middle of it. You get lost through caves and you're trying to keep track of all the floors and where the dead ends are. Then you pop back in the overworld and it's like, where am I? What's going on? Which direction haven't I explored yet? Ryguy finds Brackenary, which is unfortunately not Hawksness. So Ryguy is very far from home. I think Hawksness, I don't know exactly in which direction, but seemed fairly close to home since Angel and EMP saw it relatively early. Chris elects to not stick with the gold grind in Tantagel and is going to head out and see what is in the world. EMP picks up a shield wraith, which we don't know is a glitched chest.
So about that exploration, I didn't feel comfortable at 16.
I don't know, man. 107 hit points, heal more, hurt more. Probably a couple more levels before you should move further than one screen away from start. Hashtag sarcasm.
I can't remember if I screwed up how many attack points Edric's sword would have given me, or I don't know.
This is a flag set where it can be easy to overgrind. Like before, it's just so straightforward to knock out these easy enemies, and it's like, oh, what's another level for a minute? And oh, I might be dealing with red dragons and such. Let's just get some more hit points, and then before you know it, once you start exploring and finding all of stuff, could be pretty far up there in levels and taking a lot of time on enemies. When we have other folks exploring, which Ryguy, through his exploration, finally finds Hawksnest, which we know is the last location of items that Ryguy needs.
Has he found his 2 trade-in caves, do we know?
I haven't caught that. I remember someone dipped into the Rainbow Drop Cave. I have not seen the Harp Cave yet. That doesn't mean that our runners haven't.
Because if so, if he's seen him, he'll be in grind and go.
Yeah, definitely. That could put Ryguy in the driver's seat, and very much will, just a couple of levels away, which is easy to pick up. Angel did just take a peek at the Rainbow Drop Cave. So we know Angel has seen Drop Cave. EMP, I don't think has, but I'm not positive. And Chris has seen Tablet Cave.
I've seen nothing.
So we'll pay attention to what Ryguy does if Ryguy continues to kind of wander around and explore looking for the Staff of Rain harp trade-in. Oh, there you go. Problem solved.
Well, that was hard.
Oh, incredible. Incredible. All right, I'm pretty sure Ryguy saw where the rainbow drop was earlier, and saw Sharlock, so
yeah, and he also saw,
Ryguy.
I'm pretty sure he saw the red slimes and the regular slimes at the beginning. So he's got a grind spot.
Ryguy definitely in the driver's seat. The other 3 need to be catching up here. Angel is in Cantlin here. Rainbow Drop acquired for Ryguy. EMP. I've seen EMP in this grave room before, just a minute ago, and then I turned around and he's still in that last zigzag before bottom of grave. Oh boy.
Yeah, I think he might have died in this cave structure once or twice, and then has to pay the penalty of getting back to where he was.
Oh, that's rough. And we know as viewers that there's really nothing of relevance else in here, that EMP would be better served exploring the overworld. Angel gets coordinates information. Chris finally goes out at level 17, 140 hit points, 91 strength, heal more, hurt more, feels comfortable taking a few tiptoes away from home.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I stop at this point.
EMP is stopped by that dead end in Sharlock yet again. Ryguy choosing Hawksness for a grind, it appears? Or did Ryguy... Yeah, must be sticking on the Axonite.
Because they give, I think, 120?
You know, that makes sense. You know, that's one of the choices in this flag set is, do you dedicate to a spike tile enemy that's repeating like this, or do you bank and take the risk on encounter luck of enemies in an overworld zone, which we know they'll be potentially running away. You could have unfavorable monster zone distribution, or just the tiles not cooperating. 1 in 8 in the desert doesn't always mean 1 in 8, so it makes sense for Ryguy to dedicate to just knocking out Axe Knights here. Chris finds Caitlin is going to get coordinates information as well. Angel finds Breckenary, confirms that the chest at the inn is nothing of value. EMP finally out into the world. See which direction EMP goes if he finds one of the required locations remaining for him, such as Garenham with the token. Well, finds Caitlin and now has Hurtmore, so can check that coordinate information. I don't think he's gotten coordinate information yet. Dragonfire, I love your comments in chat. Something is very, very wrong if Ryguy is the only one at 0 deaths. that makes me chuckle, and I'm sure Ryguy would appreciate that as well. But the death count has definitely been low. That's for sure. Angel at 1, Chris at 1, EMP at 3. EMP is going to get coordinates information here. Angel finds Romualder. Ryguy continuing to knock out those Axe Knights. Looked like he was at level 13, about to hit level 14, so grind is working for him. Probably, should be less than 5 minutes away from whatever he decides go level is at, which is a question mark with level up refills and the Stair Shuffle and the Sharlock. We know that there's quite the mega dungeon. I don't think Ryguy has seen the full depth of how vast the cave structure is in the overworld. Might be thinking that there could be a big cave structure in Sharlock and preemptively going to explore.
He only saw.
Yeah, he only saw the top level of Grave, essentially, came into Erdrick's armor that way. EMP does pick up the Stones of Sunlight from the overworld search spot. I don't think Angel has done that just yet, and does the Harp Trade-In Cave. Okay, we've got Chris, Angel, EMP continuing to explore, looking for their last items, which for Angel is going to be Erdrick's Sword, for EMP is going to be Erdrick's Token and Erdrick's Sword, and for Chris is going to be darn near everything. But Chris does have the experience advantage, is still very comfortable, could stat-wise finish the game at any point. Finds the town of Cole, baby, is going to take out this treasure guard. Angel, I believe, also did clear the trade-in, is up to level 15. Impressive that Angel has gotten up to level 15 here, even though Ryguy's been grinding here on the Axe Knights for several minutes. Sharlock sighting again on Chris's screen.
Right now it's Ryguy with the just grinding to get to go, and me exploring and repelling most everything to find key items.
Yeah, and then Angel and EMP a little bit in the middle. They're pretty close on experience, but maybe not quite there. Still fighting some enemies and still have a couple of locations that they need to Locations to locate. Chris finds Swamp South, immediately dips out. That makes
I think
sense.
I found it again. And my mental map of the overworld was like, wait, I've been here before.
Finds Garenham, which is a good discovery for Chris, and EMP finds coal, so we immediately have 2 more runners finding the items that they need.
And here I'm
Pardon
sad
us,
the
NPCs.
NPC gauntlet is not on this.
That's been fun in Winter League as a player, where some weeks it's on, some weeks it's off, so you have to stop and think, oh, can I just blow up this NPC? No, I can't this week. Darn it. Get out of the way.
Hurt mortal NPC should always be on.
I mean, it takes out the doors, right? So we've got sword pickup and token pickup. Angel finds the town of Coal. So Angel's going to get the sword and be in grind and go position after Rainbow Drop trade-in, much like Ryguy, just checking on the experience. Angel's at about 8,300. Ryguy it's just a touch further, about 85. Is going to check out the zone now.
Yeah, it looked like he was going after...
Yeah, Ryguy going after these enemies here in the Hawksnest zone that we saw EMP grinding earlier. Angel came back to the Tantagel area and trying to grind the slimes over there. So different grind choices by these players. Chris finds Hawksness.
Is it faster to the Axe Knights at 124 in the Hawk's Nest, or the slimes and red slimes in the starting zone?
Might have a chance to settle that debate, or at least see how the encounter volatility favors Angel or not. Angel now stepping away from the zone. I don't know if Angel saw Sharlock. I would think that he did, just based on how everyone else kind of saw it on the corner of the screen, but I didn't lay eyes on it specifically. Maybe Angel is headed into Sharlock and try to figure out that cave system preemptively, especially with level up refills.
I successfully do a count and get my stone. Now I'm excited because just got to finish my homework and then head to Sharlock.
So that's really impressive. We were just talking, 5 minutes ago of, Chris has to go find everything. Angel has to find sword. And in that span, Angel finds the sword. Chris finds the harp, the stones, the token, did the coordinate count to do the stones, and now is in grind and go besides the trade-in caves. Possibly did not see the Staff of Rain trade-in cave.
Whether or not I remember where they are, that's a different question.
That is certainly a 2-part question. EMP finds Garenham, finds the token, so I think that puts EMP into trade-in plus grind and go. Okay, massive convergence after very different starts and directions for these 4 players.
Coming into a very exciting finish.
Ryguy gets level 16. We'll see what decisions Ryguy makes after this. Okay, Ryguy is going out, going somewhere, possibly to Sharlock. Chris looking for trade-in caves. Angel walking around looks like Angel was either looking for Sharlock or returning to Sharlock. Appears to have found it. So should be, Angel will be the first player to enter Sharlock. As EMP would say, get your rainbow emojis out. And almost synchronized rainbow drop for Ryguy as well. Oh, wow. Now
Angel's going in
direction.
He's going in at level 15 and needs about 700 more experience points before getting level 16.
Should be able to take it, but that'll definitely slow Angel down if Ryguy chooses to not take anti-encounters. And divergence here of Ryguy going to the right Angel going to the left, Chris picking up the rainbow drop, EMP, I presume, is going back and looking and dealing with trading caves. Okay, Angel saying nope to that direction. I didn't see if it was specifically a dead end or not, but instead of the lower left is going up to the traditional way down into Sharlock.
Here's me wasting a minute putting the values into the calculator because I have a lot of lack of self-confidence.
EMP seems to still be exploring and searching for one of the trading caves, I assume. Or maybe looking for a grind to get another level. We'll see what happens with EMP as Angel and Ryguy continue to make their way through Sharlock. Ryguy popped out the back behind the throne, so it looks like the back connects to the right, and the answer might be the left staircase that Angel abandoned. Or did I miss it? Oh man, this is getting confusing. Okay, Angel just popped out the right staircase. It does seem to be the way that the left lower staircase is the answer, which Ryguy is about to head to. Chris now in Sharlock, just a minute behind the other two. And Chris is going to go behind the throne. Okay, so Ryguy... Oh, the left is a dead end. Okay, left is a total dead end. The throne and the right connect to each other. Somewhere between those two is going to be the way to the basement.
Are we sure the basement is actually in Sharlock?
I would hope so. Otherwise, we might be here for a long time.
That super stair shuffle where you have to go through Swamp Cave.
or we might need to find the charm of Rubus and break Hargon's curse on Hargon's castle. Oh, wait, wrong game.
It's actually located on the missing third continent.
Pangea, right? EMP finds the rainbow drop traded. Okay, so EMP should be on his way to Sharlock as well. Ryguy is the first to the basement. Ryguy is going north to stay at the inn. Yes, staying at the Sharlock Inn with that flag is on, since looks like he did use some resources, even though he's just barely above level 16. So, yeah. Chris found the basement as well! Chris skips the Sharlock Inn.
Yeah, I've only used 2 MP because I had to use Radiant because I don't know the Sharlock maps yet.
So Chris has above and beyond resources to finish off the Dragon Lord, one would think. Ryguy stayed at the inn and now making his way around. Will encounter luck bring this any closer as Chris is stuck on an armor knight? And how quickly will Angel find the path to the basement? Chris defeats the spike enemy. Ryguy's just a few steps away. And Chris is going to be our first player to fight the Dragon Lord.
Guaranteed win, right? Guaranteed?
Barring a mismenu, ... We have seen a mismenu or two cost some races here in Winter League. Quick work of Dragon Lord 1.
Yep, Angel did get his level 16.
All right, so Angel should be... I would think level 16 is confident for Angel. Just has to make his way to the basement. Ryguy pondering strategy on the Armor Knight as Chris hammers away on DL2. I haven't been counting, but again, barring mismenu, this should be a good fight here.
Allegedly, my rolls can go up to 15.
The game says otherwise with that 8.
I was not keeping count, but I was very disappointed in the number of single digits.
10's a double digit, right? Right?
Say 9's a double digit, there's a 0 in front of it.
Ryguy enters the Dragon Lord 1 fight, makes quick work as well, and enters the DL2 fight. And Angel is just not having his way through the cave structure here to get to the basement in time.
Well, Bean, I could also try to bless myself in the past. You don't know how this ends up.
Another 8 from Chris, while Ryguy figured out how to swing Erdrick's sword, hits for 15.
Oh, I didn't take enough fencing classes.
We've gotten close.
I'm down to 3 Healmores, and I'm not very happy.
Oh man, we've gotten closer on the fight between Chris and Ryguy, although Chris should still have a comfortable advantage if he can squeeze through here. That 14 wasn't enough. Gonna use the last Healmore.
Who says I could have won this at 16? Because I would have had 1 fewer Healmore.
And there it goes. Despite unfavorable rolls in the DL2 fight, Chris is the first to vanquish. We're not quite done yet, although Chris didn't stay at any inns, returns straight back to Tantagel, and is going to be the first place finisher in our Group 3 race.
No stride of pride for me. Angel is still looking for the bottom level. I think he's done every single staircase except the right one.
That's just incredible of how Angel was the first to enter Sharlock. Ryguy 30 to 60 seconds behind. I think it was even closer than that. Very close to Ryguy. Ryguy finishes off the Dragon Lord, second place. Get your GGs out for Ryguy 3745. Angel has spent this entire time struggling to find the right path through the Sharlock caves.
Yep, and Ryguy's got to walk himself back home.
Little bit of extra time here from Ryguy shouldn't make a difference, as Angel finally finds the basement, was going to go to the Sharlock Inn, probably saw Chris finish in the race room and said, forget it, I need to get going. Is going to be even more disappointed in a moment when he sees Ryguy finish second. EMP, meanwhile, has finally found Sharlock and is going to begin the dive.
Did I see 73 MP from Angel? He's got to turn around. Yeah. There he goes. I don't think either he was thinking he was closer to a new level, or he just didn't see his magic level.
Or possibly didn't realize where the Sharlock Inn was going to be. It is an unusual flag that hasn't been played very much casually. Yeah, so Angel is going to take a step back and stay at the inn. Here's another little bit of a time loss. As EMP finds the dead end and is now going to go behind the throne. EMP is not out of this if he can go the right way as fast as possible. And Angel gets bad encounter luck. That's a good point, RG, as well. Maybe forgot about the Sharlock Inn altogether and started to walk around and saw the dude standing there, and it's like, oh yeah, I don't need to grind the spike up to 17 to get my level up refill. Let's just stay at the inn. That is possible.
Beta putting in chat, we don't know if Angel actually reads the flags. It's a form of cheating if you know what the flags are.
That's one step away from blindfolded DWR runs. Angel makes his way through the Sharlock spike, is going to begin the Dragon Lord fight himself as EMP continues to find his way through the Sharlock caves and just isn't going to get there in time. Does pick up the fighter's ring for a consolation prize. EMP does make it to the basement, but again, unless something goes tragic for Angel on this Dragon Lord fight, should have no problem taking him down. EMP is going to stay at the Sharlock Inn. We did note earlier with Ryguy with the accidental step outside the back of Garanham and then had to walk in and walk back around. Probably cost him roughly 30 seconds, and keep that in mind if that makes a difference in the finish. It appears it did not, since there's over a minute difference between Chris and Ryguy, and then it's gonna, so yeah, a little bit of an unfortunate time loss there, but did not factor.
Maybe if he had his return still to Tantagel.
Now you're onto something. Now you're onto something. If you take the time coming in and out of Garanham, plus the walk back to Sharlock, I don't know if it would still make up a minute 15 seconds, but it would be very close.
Although I don't remember how he got into Sharlock, if he had a in-stay at, what was that? Not Garanham, Cole. Cole was next to Sharlock. If he warped to that before doing his dive.
I think he did. Yeah, that's a good point. I think that's what he did, Chris. And then took the chance to take the walk back. It's like, do you want to take the walk there to Sharlock or take the walk back? It probably immaterial. That's a good point.
Or if he had just had the same luck I did in finding the bottom floor, then he would have had his full resources and wouldn't have had to go to the inn. I definitely got lucky.
And get your GGs out for Angel FM, finishing in third place in this race. Gets the return immediately back to Tantagel as EMP begins the Dragon Lord 1 fight.
And so, let's see, Angel's going to finish with 16 points and EMP 14 points. We don't yet know of the playoff threshold. This is my first playoff making. I think it's my second or third winter tournament. So I'm proud of me.
Well, GG's, Chris, on that. I'm making the playoffs. It's very exciting. Well done.
I look forward to losing this week.
Oh, that might have been what you thought coming into week 5, and look how that turned out for you. Anything can happen with these flags, and lots of volatility with how Dragon Warrior Randomizer goes to begin with, and then you throw on some of the Winter League non-standard flags, and a lot of things are out the window. So yeah, Angel is going to finish with 16 points, which will be good enough for playoffs as well. Ryguy also at 16 points. EMP will earn 1 point from fourth place finish here as he fights the Dragon Lord. We'll watch for DL2 to get thwarted as well. 14 has a small chance of a tiebreaker race, but might be an unfortunate position for EMP, where EMP now has to rely on the results of other races, including the next one up for Group 4 that'll be starting after this broadcast. It's fascinating, again, the different paths that all players took in this seed. And there goes down the Dragon Lord. GG's out in chat for EMP any amount of money. Oh, it takes the return back to Cole. Okay, so we're going to have to wait a minute before we get the final time.
Luckily, the map is small and home is not too far away.
Yeah, I'm watching the timer. So the walk back from Cole to home, it's about 20 seconds. About 20 seconds.
Well, GG's to everybody, and thank you, mahalo to Destiny, and Velivu, and RG, and Cerno for tracking and humming and restreaming.
Yeah, GG to all 4 runners, including the one here in the commentary booth with me, Chris. Good luck to you as you move on into the playoffs. Good luck to Angel and Ryguy as well. And good luck to EMP on the hopes of a tiebreaker race. We'll see how things shake up. We'll again have another quick break as we switch over and get set up for the Group 4 race, switch out some of our broadcast team here. Thanks again for our volunteers for this race, as well as all throughout the week and continuing through the weekend. We have 4 more races to broadcast. We've got Group 4 and Group 6 coming up after this, and then tomorrow afternoon we have Group 8, Group 9, and then in the evening around 8 p.m. Eastern, we will have a playoff preview reveal show. So stick around for all of the continuing Dragon Warrior Randomizer action. Anything else you want to add here, Chris, as we send it off and get ready for the next race?
I don't think we have any commentators set up for the next race yet. I sadly am unavailable. So if anybody in chat wishes to volunteer, I'm sure we'll be happy to have you. If I can do it, anybody can do this.
It's been fun, especially getting your insights on what was happening, what you were thinking with the seed. It's a pretty cool perspective. Appreciate you joining us. Thank you, RG and Chirno. Thank you, Velu V. Look forward to our next stream, probably starting in roughly 5 to 10 minutes. Stick around.